right now. Could you repeat that for me, Nia? She's our field producer. You said not guilty on count one. That is the racketeering conspiracy. The second count, not guilty on count 2. Is that correct? Not guilty.
Guilty on count 3.
Guilty on count 3. That would be the Mann Act transportation of Cassie Ventura. And if you could, looks like I have the note as well, so I'm just going to read it. Count 1, racketeering conspiracy, not guilty. Count 2, not guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, not guilty. Count 5, guilty. So essentially, the jurors found that he was guilty of the Mann Act. That is the transportation to engage in prostitution, but they found him not guilty on sex trafficking, very serious charge there where he could have spent a minimum of 15 years in prison, and not guilty on that racketeering conspiracy, which he could have spent up to life in prison for. So that is the very latest. We're going to get more information as things are coming out in terms of the mood inside that courtroom. What is Sean Combs doing? What is his family doing? What are the jurors doing? How are they reacting? All of that should be coming to us momentarily. But again, if you're just tuning in, Sean Combs not guilty on the most serious of charges, the racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking.
Jackson Podcast.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm glad that I didn't do a live stream talking about this subject. I just was tuned in to all the rhetoric, all the things that was being spewed, so I could get on my platform and have an objective point of view of everything that I seen, everything that was said, and bring some value to the people. You know, what's interesting about this whole thing is the court of public perception. Before the raids, before he was arrested, before the court case and everything, I was saying that it is so many people coming out with frivolous lies, so many different stories, that I stopped believing people. I thought they was just trying to trigger the algorithm and get them a bag right quick. You know, I wonder how Gene Deal feel right now. I can't wait to see him release some content. I can't wait to hear it from Jaguar Wright and all of these people. I got reactions from Aubrey O'Day that I want to play. Mark Curry's, the Choppers, the Freddie P's. I wonder what Keefe D is thinking right now. Also, from all the things that were said. Court of public opinion and these platforms where anybody is speaking, people that wouldn't even have a opinion, their opinion wouldn't even be valued, is now streaming, getting interviewed, and talking about things in a frivolous way. But first, I want to address the Mann Act, what he was guilty of, what he was convicted of, the Mann Act, right? I had Judge Joe Brown on my platform before any of this happened, and he was telling me about girls getting flued out. He was like, that's criminal, Trev. I was like, how is that criminal, Trev? He told me it was an act that was put into law in 1910. And back then, they didn't even have airplanes. If you ride a horse, if you ride a horse from Illinois to Indiana for sexual situations, it's a crime. I was like, damn, for real, Judge? So I just want to read this to y'all, man. And we further the discussion about this because this act has been in law for 115 years. And I want to tell y'all who it was created for. So the Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910, is a U.S. federal law that prohibits the transportation of individuals across state or national borders for illegal sexual activities. The act was passed in 1910 to combat human trafficking and prostitution and is named after Illinois Congressman James Robert Mann. The Mann Act applies regardless of consent as the interstate transportation itself triggers federal jurisdiction. Wow. So that act was used to target black people, black men 115 years ago. It's still being used to target black men today. It's just interesting to me, man. Real spill. So to me, when I seen these charges, I thought Diddy was the only thing that I could, see him being guilty of, because I didn't have no proof of nothing, to be honest with you, was they showed guns and drugs, right? They showed the video of him harming Cassie, but the statute of limitations, I think, passed up. I don't know. I don't even believe statute of limitations exists no more after seeing these crimes and these charges that people are dealing with that happened 40, 50 years ago. It's just interesting. So I don't even know if the statute of limitations are what they are for domestic violence. So that's what I thought he was guilty of: drug possession, gun charges, and domestic violence. And he wasn't guilty of none of that. He was just guilty of the Mann Act. So he didn't get charged with the sex trafficking, 2 counts. He didn't get charged with the RICO, which I feel like the RICO is being used too much. Brian Steele is killing those RICO cases. He was on this trial after Brian Steele beat the YSL trial with Young Thug and Gunna and all them boys down there. That was a RICO also that he destroyed. So Brian Steele seems like the RICO killer right now. And, the conviction rate for the feds is high. And in this jurisdiction of New York, it's 93%. It's 93% in the Southern District of New York. So this is going to lower their win percent rate, or it may not even affect it, to be honest with you, though. So to me, Diddy is guilty of being a junkie and a sex addict. I've seen women that's speaking on this, and no disrespect to women because I love y'all. But, they was speaking that they was disgruntled. This shows that there's no value in the woman. This shows that they're never going to listen to us and all of this. He should have got life in prison. I've never been a Diddy fan musically. I've never been one of those people in awe of Diddy. I've met him in real life, had the opportunity to work with his artist, 8 Ball and MJG, when I collaborated on their album that's on a Bad Boy release. It's just interesting to see the perspective of women, and they wanting to see him deal with something worse than what happened. So I want to play Bootsy reaction to this, and then I want to continue the conversation before we get to these lawyers and what they had to say about what they assume is a victory.
The reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. And I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this shit for people, I know he ain't paid people, but if he done all this shit for hip hop, if he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, And people always, Boosie was on Diddy's side. Nah, it ain't that. It's because I'm thinking about 7 children. Y'all thinking about one person. I'm thinking about these 7 kids who been in my kids' position. Not knowing if your daddy gonna come home or not is a burden on the child. So all y'all was like, no, I'm thinking about them damn children, man. So, man, I'm glad he free, bro. Like I've been said, I don't feel he was guilty of nothing, nothing but domestic violence, But
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
Well, Boosie, he was guilty of more than domestic violence, and he didn't even get charged with that. But we seen the guns, we seen the drugs, the high dang on pink, whatever they call it. I don't even know what that is. That's some new modern type shit. Pink cocaine. He said that he seen people saying that you taking Diddy's side. It was a lot of people that was telling me that it seems as if I was defending Diddy, but it wasn't that I was defending Diddy. It's that I was defending them not misusing the law against him, because if they could misuse the law against him, it could set precedent for people that's less fortunate than Diddy to get those same laws used against them. And I ain't for that. Imagine you don't got $1 million and you done paid for a flight. You got 5,000 to your name and you really like this girl and you paying for her to come to wherever you located at just for y'all to hang out, eat, go party and make love and fly her back home. That should not be a crime if you really like somebody. And then me thinking about it, girls, no disrespect, they celebrate getting flued out. They look at it as a statistic. Oh, he flew me out, girl, bitch. That nigga got me the first class flight. You know, and then to be able to use it in the court of law against somebody else is crazy. To use it against the billionaire, it's easy to be able to use it against him, and then he loses his financial status and he loses his financial gain and certain amounts of money and all of that behind some bullshit. To be honest with you, something that she wanted done. I don't feel as if you'd have to force nobody that wants to be with you to get on a plane. I could be wrong. Boosie also said all this shit he done for hip hop. If you look at Diddy's track record in hip hop, everybody that ever, he might have set a business structure for people to use nowadays, but I wouldn't even want to use that business structure because all the people that's around him, all the people that were signed to him was disgruntled. They died. They went to church. They went back to religion. Loon done turned Muslim. Craig Mack went to Christianity in South Carolina. Then he passed away. Shine had to do 10 years. Now he down in Belize doing political stuff. Lil' Kim don't know who the hell she is. She got plastic surgery all over her body everywhere. Mace went to preaching and you don't know what he's seen to make him want to become a pastor. Who else? We could think of some more people. Mark Curry done went broke and complaining on the internet about Diddy. Day 26 whining that Diddy was sleeping with this person and that person. All of what he did for hip hop, it seemed like he was running a dysfunctional, profitable entertainment company. That's what it seemed like. And the 7 children, I understand that. But it's not fair. But in our community, people grow up without their mother and father every day. Some people are better off without their mother and father. To be honest with you, they thrive without their mother and father. They have to deal with those harsh realities, and then it makes them a better person at the end of the day. So I want to read this also. We're going to play the lawyer's reaction to the verdict and to the bond being denied, but I want to read this from Aubrey O'Day to y'all. I got to get it up in my phone first. Pause. Get it up. No Diddy. They done made terminology behind no Diddy. Pause. It's just a lot going on, man, behind this thing. But let me pull this up of Aubrey O'Day. She put this on her Instagram today sometime, and she said, I'm still unpacking the magnitude of it all. The cultural weight of this decision is immeasurable. It is heartbreaking to witness how many lives have been impacted by their experiences with Sean Combs, only for those stories to fall short in the eyes of a jury. I can only hope these jurors never have to watch someone they love endure what so many survivors have described. My heart is with Cassie, a woman who could have had a life, a career of fear and control, a woman who told her truth in a courtroom only to have the world dissect her credibility instead of her courage. Let's be clear. The courtroom operates by the law, but that does not mean it delivers justice, nor is it the best place to develop the moral compass this world so urgently needs. Let me address some things, though. I don't want to bash Cassie because she was a child when, these things was happening. But if you go look at this Aubrey O'Day person's Instagram, which I got this imagery from, fair use, but she is promoting sex on every last post. We live in an over-sexualized society, and these people want to be sympathized when they be used as what they promote. Real talk. So I really don't feel sad for Cassie. I don't feel sad for Diddy neither. None of them really had to suffer the consequences of their actions. Cassie got 20 mil from Diddy, 10 from the hotel. She $30 million up, having children, living life, married, shining, glowing, and out here doing her thing. She may be traumatized from her experiences, but at the end of the day, she came out winning. Diddy, he ain't doing a life sentence. He came out winning. So if you want these people to sympathize with you, if you want sympathy, you got to do what's right. You know, being a moral police and all of that is crazy. If this wasn't the American justice system and this was the moral police, the moral police, people who is based upon morals and integrity and stuff, Diddy will be getting an electric chair. He'll be getting an electric chair. I talked to a whole bunch of people, said, I believe everything that he did. I believe he did this to Tupac. I believe he did this to Biggie. I believe he sacrificed these people. I believe he slept with, what's Buddy Loose Cannon said? Urkel Daddy, what's his name? I forgot his name. The Rock, or forgot his real name, but then people say he slept with TD Jakes, Oprah. He got these people on tape. He did this to Justin Bieber. We had a crazy expectation of all of these things coming out in court, and none of them came out in court. It's crazy. Let me finish Aubrey O'Day thing so I can get to the next video that kind of blew my mind. No Diddy. When I seen this today. Let me finish up though. So the pattern of behavior Sean Combs has shown us over the decades is not a mystery. It's a warning. And now that pattern risks being reframed and has now been legitimized by the system. This wasn't Bonnie and Clyde. It was control, coercion, and abuse. And we have to stop rewriting history to excuse the behavior and start normalizing accountability. We have to stop rewriting history to excuse the behavior and start normalizing accountability. Who took accountability in this? None of them. Aubrey, you ain't taking accountability. You still promoting whoredom. Nasty time. You're naked on your shit. So no matter how powerful the person, that narrative is not just dishonest, it's dangerous. Women, no men, nor any artists are the property of those with the most wealth, fame, and power. We are not disposable. 12 people on a jury will not be deciding that for us. You know, I understand her perspective though, but that accountability part, accountability is something that you have to take control of. It's not up to nobody else to be accountable for you. Aubrey O'Day complained about the things that she witnessed, the traumas that she faced or whatever though, but everybody that put themselves in position with Diddy, they got to hold themselves accountable for their actions. I'm going to give y'all an example of that. You know, I used to participate in street activities probably 2 decades ago in my life when I was young. And it was times where people would try to harm me, shooting at me, trying to take my life. It was people who was telling on me, trying to get me arrested, and got me arrested at one point in time. And I could have put it all on them and said that he a rat, I'm going to do something to him. Or I'm going to retaliate for these dudes trying to harm me because of something that I didn't even know what I did to them for them to want to react that way. It was just pure hatred. But the thing that I did, and I'm not going to be on me too much longer, but the thing that I did was look myself in the mirror and say, Trev, this is all your fault. Because you didn't have to participate in none of this shit. You didn't have to hustle. You know, you didn't have to be in those environments where you know foolishness going on. Remove yourself. It's your fault. It's more to life than anything that you have witnessed in these streets. Hold yourself accountable. Now, with this sexual stuff that's going on, I feel like it's a demon attached to these sexual behaviors that people have, because shouldn't nobody be as lustful as what has been said and what has been displayed in this court case, in this law situation. Nobody should be this lustful. And did he get convicted of those two things because of what was shown in that courtroom. You know, it was certain things that were shown. They said they were showing sex tapes in the courtroom that we didn't get to see. So if it was certain individuals that had to fly in, that had to come from other places to be participating in those activities that they saw in the courtroom, could that be an automatic conviction? But it's more things he could have been convicted on, and it's some things that I didn't agree with the RICO and all of that though. But the guns and the drugs, he didn't even get charged with that. So this is a win-win. I'm gonna play this ruckus that was going on outside of the courtroom when the verdict was read. And then I'm going to get to the lawyer's video, and we're going to get up off of this thing, man. I appreciate y'all tuning into my show. Make sure you hit the like button, man. Y'all been slacking on hitting that like button lately. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and chop it up with the kid, man. I appreciate everybody's presence. Thank y'all so much, man. Let's get to it, though. The actions of one fool can make people think that a whole community behaves that way. Doing all of that stuff and pouring baby oil on yourself outside of the courtroom, you should do 30 days behind that bullshit, man. I know you're happy, or I don't even know what you're happy for, to be honest, because it doesn't. Diddy's being released and them charges don't have no attachment to you. But it's just pure foolishness outside naked, pouring baby oil on your body because Diddy beat a couple of charges. Come on with the foolishness, man. Come on, man. One more visual. I got to play this from Cassie Lawyer, and then I want to talk about something that they wrote a note to the judge today saying, don't release Diddy. He is a danger to us. So they feel fearful because if he gets released, he might try to attack them violently. Craziness.
That he's been held responsible for something, which is something that hasn't happened in his lifetime. And, we're hopeful that ultimately he receives a substantial sentence for what he's done. And, we're pleased that Cassie's brought to light everything that has happened in this trial. I just spoke with her and with the U.S. Attorney's Office team, and she's in a good place. She's pleased that, again, that the jury has found him liable, or guilty of two federal crimes.
Now, based upon all the evidence that y'all know about, I want y'all to chop it up with me in the comment section with this question. What do y'all think was deserved based upon a time aspect? Life, 25 years, the chair, 5 years, not guilty, let them go home. I just want to know everybody's perception who's watching this episode. Let me know, and I'm going to be in the comment section chopping it up with you because I want to discuss this. I want to learn people's perspective also, myself. Let's get to the video, though. The lawyers speak out after the mixed verdict.
All right. Thank you all for being patient. Am I speaking loud enough? You all can hear me okay? All right. Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right. or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that. The arson, he was innocent of that. The obstructing justice, he was innocent of that. And that is no longer just me saying that. That is the verdict of our jury. So today is a great day. Today is a win. Today is a victory of all victories for Sean Combs and our legal team. And I want to say one thing. There are very few people around whom a legal team could coalesce and become one. And Sean Combs is that person, and we are all blessed to be part of it. And I am now done speaking to you, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Garagos.
All right, I first want to thank my client, Sean Combs, for trusting us, myself, and everybody here, this incredible dream team that he put together. Without him, we would not have been able to do this. He is incredible, and I want to thank him. I want to thank the jury for putting such great care into this case. They came early every single day, and I want to thank them, as I said in my opening, standing between all of us and the drastic consequences of the criminal convictions of sex trafficking and RICO is a jury of our peers. And I thank them. I want to thank the judge, and I want to thank, despite the terrible conditions at the MDC, I want to thank the good people who worked there, who ensured that we had sufficient amount of time to prepare for trial. It is extremely difficult to prepare for a federal case in the conditions at the MDC, and they did everything they could to make that happen. I want to thank them. I also have been saying this since the beginning of this case. Sean Combs has not sexually assaulted anybody. I've been saying this for months. We've said it with each lawsuit that came out, and today that was proven true. The media got it wrong about Sean Combs every single day for nearly 2 years. I ask that for every time you guys see a civil lawsuit, criminal complaints or criminal indictments, you actually take a look and analyze these and see whether or not these are actually going to stand up in a court of law, because today they did not. He has not sexually assaulted anybody, certainly hasn't sex trafficked anybody, and the jury found that today. Thank you. I am now going to pass this over to Mr. Steele.
Good evening. Good evening. I want to thank the ladies and gentlemen to my right and my left. There is not a better group of honest and ethical, hardworking, and zealous lawyers, and I especially wish to thank Mark and Tenny for allowing me and everyone else to come together. On behalf of my family, myself, I wish to thank you all for being here and writing truthfully about a man wrongly charged with most of the crimes, and that we all must remember that allegations are nothing. And I'd like to thank Sean for letting me be here. Thank you all. God bless you.
What did your client want to say when you reached?
Thankfully, in our country, we have a right to a jury trial. And thankfully, Mr. Combs took that right. He actually battled for his freedom, for his innocence. He did it. And a lot of times, people are too afraid to do it. And he did it, and we're so happy that he did. We're proud of him. We are completely honored that he put his faith and his trust in us to fight for him. Today is a major win to show what the system can do. We appreciate and we're so thankful to the jury. Thank you to the court. Thank you, New York. It's been a pleasure being here and fighting in your district. Thank you so much. And listen, we appreciate the media. We do. There was a lot of reporting on the accusations. There was a lot of reporting on the indictment. Please report just as vigorously on the acquittal of of these counts, please, because that's also the right thing to do. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, first of all, I want to thank this wonderful team behind me. I am so happy that they allowed me to join it. I would like to say that I've done a lot of trials, but this is probably the most special one to me. And most important, I want everyone to know the job is not done yet. We're not finished. The job is not done yet. And so I want to, again, thank Mark, Tenny, and the rest of these wonderful lawyers behind us. They did a fantastic job. And like those before me have said, our system, the jury system, is important. We need good people to serve on juries. We need good people to come and say a person is not guilty. Take that courage to do that. It's okay. We want you to serve on juries. This particular jury was a special jury. It was fantastic. It listened. It paid attention. It put the nonsense to the side. It put the distraction to the side and came to a lawfully good, just conclusion. Juries are important. Juries are important. But more important than that, I think, is people wanting to be on juries. So for all of you all listening, for all you out there in the public, please accept the call, become a juror, and do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It is such a privilege to be a part of this legal team, this amazing legal team, and to represent Sean Combs. And this is a reminder to everyone, I hope, about the flaws in the criminal justice system, and for everyone to take a second look when the government charges people with crimes, and especially when the Southern District of New York does here. And so I hope everyone takes that seriously. And we take this as an enormous victory and win. This is a huge win. He was acquitted of sex trafficking, acquitted of RICO conspiracy, and he will be able to sleep well at night knowing that. Okay, thank you to everyone. I appreciate you.
Jason.
Guys, can any of you
Jason.
share what you
Awesome. Get up there.
Well, I want to start just by thanking my family and the families of each of the lawyers here for giving us.
I done heard enough. It sounds like they acting like they won the Super Bowl. They thanking Diddy, they thanking the lawyers, they thanking the team. You know, Diddy assembled, to me, what was the Avengers of lawyers. I don't know what he spent, but he assembled the Avengers of lawyers, and he had to put a big bag down. Now, what I want people to get from this whole situation, because I'm not reporting on this no more. I tapped out when the trial started. I was fatigued with talking about Diddy. I'm not one of those content creators that can stay on a topic permanently or create a channel to speak specifically about things. I am a multitude of interest person. I like a lot of things, and I'm all over the place with my creativity. It's just whatever is of my interest that's viral at the moment with what I create. But I found interest in talking about this today because on my podcast, me and Judge Joe Brown, we talked about the Mann Act, and it's one of my most viewed episodes. And bond denied. It's interesting that his bond was denied, and he's not a career criminal, Diddy. This is like one of his first real charges, though. But I want to leave y'all with this, though, because I've seen a lot of this. People can assume a lot of things, but if you can't prove the things that you assuming, it's just an assumption. Appreciate y'all tuning in to my show, man. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money, and I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.